I'm just going to give you a warning straight up. If you are a bear, then this video isn't for you. If you're an absolutely convinced bear, you're just going to be sitting here, grabbing your chair and being really frustrated by what I share in this video. It just does not make sense. Right now, at least, there's going to be a time I agree with you, but right now, it does not make sense to be a bear. There's just so many things just lining up perfectly, and I'm going to share a lot of those things in this video, and I want to be clear about something. It doesn't make sense to be a bear about altcoins. Okay, so it's easy. It's been easy in the past. There's, oh, hey, Bitcoin's doing well, but oh no, but my altcoins. Oh man. Okay, let's just go ahead and dive on into this. If you could hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and all of that. So we have from Cole Garner here: smart money volume hitting levels unseen in 18 months. That's happened twice in this bull. Both times Bitcoin rallied 50 to 70%, which would put us above 150K. Have tracked this metric for years. It is rarely wrong. And so we're seeing the boxes here, the yellow boxes, and the correlation between what we're seeing with that and a significant pump in Bitcoin's price. And so what is that? Smart exchange, smart money volume. Why smart exchange volume? Perfect entry signals every single time since the FTX bottom. Zero noise, pure signal. And so very high smart exchange bottom volume. And very shortly after that, a significant pump in Bitcoin's price. I've been talking about, I'm calling for an ABC correction in Bitcoin, for Bitcoin to get down to about 114.5 very soon, maybe even this week. And then after that, we're going to put the next leg higher. We'll see about that, but that is my mindset at this moment. And I would love for that to be invalidated with just a V-shaped bounce, and that 115 and change was the bottom, but we'll see. From Crypto Quant here: cryptocurrency market overheating hasn't even started, unlike in March and December of 2024. On-chain data indicating market overheating shows that the market still hasn't reached an overheated state. And so what does overheated look like? It means realized cap UTXO age bands between 1 day and 1 week percentage-wise. Short-term holders taking lots of profits. And what do we see? We see very little of that. So another sign that you see something like that, then we'll be in a much different phase than where we are now. So interesting stuff. One more Bitcoin related thing, and then I'm going to show you some ETH and altcoin related things that I'm just going to tell you. It's very exciting, and the charts are showing us reasons to be incredibly bullish on Ethereum, followed by being incredibly bullish on altcoins. So we have Axel Adler, one of my favorites here. After the all-time high, bears began aggressively shorting. Bull dominance sharply declined, and the long to short ratio shifted into negative territory. Inject that into my veins. It's just, okay, yeah, bears, come on. Keep on believing that we're at the peak, and, be a hero. Please, by all means, be a hero and short the peak. We are now, this is within a 1 hour time frame. So from July 14th until about now, we are seeing lots of bears trying to load up and trying to short Bitcoin's price. So let's see how that goes. I hope you lose all your money. I mean, not all your money, just the money that you're putting into shorting Bitcoin here. And that can tend to be the fuel that will drive Bitcoin's price spiking higher. So my boy CVO Paul Sampson. Okay, the path to alt season, we see ETH Bitcoin, huge reversal pattern that potentially indicates Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin. You ready for this? For the next 12 months. 12 months. So he has gotten very heavily into harmonic trading, and I'm going to show you my analysis of the ETH Bitcoin chart. It's actually, oh my goodness, I didn't even notice this. It's actually very much in line with CVO Paul's analysis here. I have the same kind of target, a higher time frame target for Ethereum in its Bitcoin valuation. So you can see a clear bottom. And what's the difference between this and November, December of 2024? Everything. It is a huge difference. We had a pump in ETH versus Bitcoin, a little bit of a pump at the end of 2024, but we never broke the downtrend, and it was an aggressive downtrend. And so now we're looking very solid. So Ethereum and its Bitcoin valuation, do not expect choppy weekly candles from here in ETH Bitcoin. This kind of pending liquidity is usually erased in the blink of an eye here and in every market. So historically, this is what has happened with Ethereum in its Bitcoin valuation. It'll grind, it'll go down. And then when it's time for Ethereum to go up in its Bitcoin valuation, it goes up very aggressively. One more thing with ETH Bitcoin, and then I'm telling you, you're going to want to see this with altcoins because, again, very excited aside from Ethereum. So altcoin Gordon here says Bitcoin dominance is falling. ETH Bitcoin is breaking out. That's not noise. That's the alt season bell ringing. You don't need 50 coins. You need the right ones. And someone who's played this game before, stick around. I'm not here for like blah, 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 blah. So we have, Bitcoin price and ETH going down, ETH price and Bitcoin going up. Very, very bullish. Now, this is what I'm talking about in my agreement with CVO Paul. So there was never a point really when you could have said over this last, 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, 3 years, 3.5 years, there was never really a point, let's say from September of 2022, actually, so 3 years, never really a point where you could say Ethereum is breaking out. There were times of hope. I get that. But there was never a point when you would say, yes, Ethereum is actually breaking out against Bitcoin right now. This is different, and there's a lot of room to the upside. So I drew a fib here, and you can see, a break through the 200-day, an aggressive break through that 200-day moving average with Ethereum. My goodness, versus Bitcoin. That is not to be ignored. Now, where do we go from here? I would make a base case that Ethereum and its Bitcoin valuation is at 0.028, that it would get at least to 0.0615, something like that. Let's just say 0.062. So that is doubling Ethereum, at least doubling, more than doubling, its price in comparison to Bitcoin. So let's say Bitcoin has another 50% rise in it. Ethereum would rise double of whatever Bitcoin rises. So, it would be more than 100%. Let's say Bitcoin went to $150,000. Ethereum, that means certainly a new all-time high. That means $10,000 is in play for Ethereum. I really do believe that. So exciting times. And the masses are asleep. The unholy trinity of your Uber driver, your grandma, and your barber, they are asleep at the wheels. And Ethereum looks amazing right now. And okay, you know what? It is at the 618 retrace. Maybe it'll chop a little bit here. Maybe, the big level that Ethereum needs to break through is this 786. Got rejected there twice. Got rejected in March of 2024 and in December of 2024. And so this time it will, but be patient. So what's the thing that I've been holding on to here, getting hyping up big time? It's this chart from Polaris XBT. And my goodness, ETH. I fully expect ETH to go absolutely nuts in the next few months and unlock the final phase of the cycle, also known as alt season. What does that mean? I don't think Bitcoin dominance is going to go under 40% like it has in the past, but that means exciting times. So you can see, here's the thing, this is wild. So you can see Ethereum outperforming altcoins big time right now. And look at this aggressive move down from 2020. Same deal, 2020 to the end of the year in 2020, Ethereum going down aggressively. Altcoins losing value aggressively versus Ethereum. And then it bottomed out and we had alt season. We had altcoins then start to outperform Ethereum dramatically. And here we are now, and same deal. Altcoins peaked versus Ethereum in early 2025, mostly as Ethereum was just struggling. And now Ethereum, that's the name of the game, is Ethereum right now, and it's happening aggressively. And then what happens after Ethereum aggressively bottoms out? Well, if you take this fractal here, this is what happens with altcoins. The rest of the altcoin market, they catch up to Ethereum in a big way. And they start outperforming Ethereum big time. So right now, the name of the game is Ethereum. And shortly, how long? I don't know, a few weeks maybe, the name of the game will be everything else. If we're going to go along how it's happened in the past with so-called alt season, this is the playbook. And in my opinion, it's very likely to happen. So what altcoin should you buy? Well, how about Polkadot? If you know me, if you've watched my live streams at least, I'm not a fan of Polkadot. All right, but in alt season, everything pumps. So I wanted to share a post that I'm not in love with. I don't love the fact that Zhao Wedson here is saying, oh, DOT is about to exit accumulation phase soon. But let's be real, Polkadot was at what, like $4 or something like that? And its all-time high, I think, is close to 60. And can it do a retrace? I don't think it's going to hit a new all-time high, but there are multiple X's potentially to be made with Polkadot. All right. So Zhao Wedson is pointing out, hey, DOT is about to exit an accumulation phase soon. Disregard the upcoming volatility and unwanted long liquidations. I don't see any other path for Polkadot than going up. Be smart, accumulate every dip, and use good alpha metrics for that. I mean, significant liquidity zone. And the downside is very limited. And sure, the upside, where does it go from here? All-time high. All right, all-time high is around $55. 618, could it get up to 618? I'm not saying it will, but a 618 would be close to a 10x from here. That would be something, but we'll see. So my eyes right now are on XRP. It looks primed, looks ready to break aggressively, to have another aggressive break. This reminds me a lot of, when was it? Of late 2024, excuse me. I was blanking there for a second. Late 2024. This reminds me a lot of late 2024. Bitcoin, just hanging around. I've shared my perspective on Bitcoin that I tend to think, where's that chart? ABC correction. Would love to see that get invalidated by just, instead of this B wave happening, that we would just break through the all-time high. And if so, we'll make our way to 130, 140, something like that pretty quickly. If not, we do see this ABC play itself out. A move to the lower 120s, but not a new all-time high, down to a back test of the 7-year trend line, and then we're off to the races. Whatever the case, I am very bullish on Bitcoin right now. And look at Bonk go. My goodness, I'm just noticing that. Wow, okay. So anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll most certainly be seeing you in another video.